And now you'll recognize the area that we're in. So let's just jump down. And head all the way back here to the MeshNet Metropolis. Where, for whatever reason, only one of the mites has respawned. And I can't climb back up to... Just get off the wall. Get off the wall. Fine. Let's see what's down here. That was a nice little happy accident. Oh, we're just on the upper portion of that room where all the satchel charges were. It might look like it's the same walkway that we were just on, but there are two upper walkways in this room. And this one we really can't do anything with yet. We do, however, need a few more Scorpion missiles, so we might as well max our ammo out for that. And now we're at 12. But everything else that's up here is not something that we can deal with at all yet. As up here is where that silver steel Primogen key is. And like all of the other ones, we need a talisman to get to it. And we don't have this talisman yet. It's that eye one, and whatever it does looks pretty interesting. Huh. Maybe we're gonna fly through the air, following those life force tokens. Well, we've only got one more level, so it's gotta be in that one. We'll figure out what it does as soon as we pick it up. Till then, all we can do is speculate. We have seen it before. It's in level 3 as well. But until we pick it up, we still gotta find that master computer. Otherwise, we're not leaving the Mantid homeworld. Also, by touching a wall, we're not leaving the Mantid homeworld. Turok, what are you doing? Okay. That's... Okay, I don't know how you got stuck there. But I wanted those shotgun shells. Because the only thing we really have left to do at all here is take out that computer. We've got plenty of charges for it. We just need to find out where to put them. And there's another Leap of Faith talisman. But we're gonna save it for later. As first, we've got more important business to attend to. Because we're just not done destroying the Queen's workforce. It is awfully progressive of these bugs to have a female CEO. reading the news. That doesn't seem to happen often enough. Hope I didn't just open up a huge can of worms with that. Ooh, 3 turrets in the ceiling. That probably means there's a 4th one at least. The computer's either got to be in this room, or it's got to be somewhere really close. Because this is pretty heavily guarded. I mean, even their force field generator only had 1 turret. And this one's got 5 now. Make that 6. Yeah, that was all the turrets. So 6 turrets. See what's on this central island. That looks like the master computer from the opening video. Satchel charges are set for 5 seconds this time. Let's plant all 4 of them and get out.
Master computer destroyed.
And watch the fireworks. That was a smaller explosion than I would have expected. Doesn't even give us any health or power-ups for taking out the master computer. Well, at the very least, that's everything for in this level. We can leave now. Confident that the Mantids will no longer be able to invade Earth. No matter what the Primogen promised them. But we still haven't seen the Queen yet. And every hive has some kind of queen. Let's do a little bit of preparation before we find her.
Ultra hell.
That was a pretty good amount of preparation. Time to go find her. She's not too far. We've already seen the way to her. Oh, now I'm 2 health under for the fight with the Queen. Wow. Wow, these guys can split apart pretty well. Kinda wish I'd seen that before now.
You must save the totem, Turok.
Just like previous totem challenges, we're facing off against whatever the base... I don't really want to say the base enemy for that level was. But it's generally whatever the medium-sized enemy is. Or, in most cases, the medium-sized enemy that has a ranged attack. We had entrails for the first while. Then we had... what were they? The Perlins that shoot gunners. Wow. And now we've got drones.
Mission accomplished.
Not a particularly durable species. So this is probably one of the easier protect the totem challenges for me. And the queen looks pissed. But she's gonna jump back up into that polyp in the ceiling as we deal with some fairly steroid-induced mites. Or maybe fairly Miracle Grow-induced mites. As they don't really hit any harder, they're just a lot bigger. Which unfortunately also means that the Mantid Queen is probably one of the easier bosses. Just like how the blind one was. Various parts of her will flash white. Those are the parts that we shoot. It also generally tends to be the parts that are shooting at us. So once we take out that part, she'll jump back up into one of the polyps in the ceiling, summon more mites to play around with us, and come back with a different way of trying to damage us. Every time we take out that section of her, it does mean that she switches up her attacks. So, like most bosses in Turok, it's at least a pretty varied fight. Or at least somewhat visually varied. Since these mites don't really damage you any more than regular mites do, that also tends to mean that these are the best times that you can walk around, refill your health, and restock your ammo supplies. It also means that the music doesn't really fit what I'm doing on screen, as what I'm doing on screen is somewhat boring compared to how the music would make you think. And now we've got to go after her butt, which is just kind of erupting globs of acid at us. I wonder if this is at all how or where the mantis came from the first Turok game. Maybe it was somewhat related to the mantid species? I doubt that's a question we're ever going to get an answer to. So instead, I'm just going to do my best to circle around her and arc this trail of fire over her back to burn her in the butt. Let's see if I can find a little bit of fuel for this flamethrower while I'm at it. As like most things that are spectacularly huge, the Mantid Queen is not particularly fast. But the Mantid Queen also doesn't need to be particularly fast. Well, I'm not finding any, so it's best make do with what I've got. Maybe it's enough to finish her. Nope. Shredder it is. That jumping attack that you just saw her do does persist through all of the rounds. She can pretty much always jump and try to stomp on you. hard to aim without arcing it around her back. Now, she does still retain the attacks that her previous forms use, except for that acid attack. I don't believe she uses it in any other segment. But as you saw right there, she just used those fireballs that were from the first round of the fight. It's not to say that she can't use the previous attacks, she just very, very heavily favors whatever attacks are supposed to be done in that current round. You would think it would keep you on your toes a little bit, but the Mantid Queen just moves so slowly that it really doesn't matter. Mites also have a pretty bad habit of jumping over your head. At the very least, most of her attacks look kinda cool. And in this phase, she does gain 2 new attacks. The charged blast is significantly more dangerous than the lightning bolts are. Just because of that pretty big AoE. The lightning you can pretty easily dodge by just sidestepping it. This charged blast will still catch you. And unfortunately, the cerebral bore doesn't work on her. To the best of my knowledge, the cerebral bore doesn't work on any bosses. The Shredder is pretty good at taking out most of her stuff. In this instance, it's because we're shooting her in the chest and face area, and it's just kind of bouncing around and pretty reliably hits the claws. A lot of other weapons don't really do a whole lot to hit it. And the final phase of the fight is a relatively simple one. So let's take her out in style. As she valiantly tries to wiggle her face away from us. And it just took her head completely off her body. God only knows what we would be able to do with a bug corpse that big. Very interesting barbecue? No, it's not like we could drag it back with us. And we still have one more big fish to fry. So until next time, good hunting.
Greetings, Turok. How may I assist you?
Thanks for watching.
Game saved.